What's up guys, it's Mitch here from Revolution Music, Film and Photography, and today we're going to be talking about 5 ways to get a better mix. Now the first rule is what I like to call the 10 dB rule. And the 10 dB rule involves starting with your kick drum at a volume of 10 dB and then balancing the rest of your mix to that kick drum. Be it EDM, hip hop, rock, this is a real good starting point no matter what genre to getting a balanced mix. And then from there you can balance your levels, and it's really important. I think one of the key issues that people forget is that you should be able to balance your mix just off volume alone. Okay, rule number 2, leaving 3 to 6 dB of headroom on your master fader. The reason why we do this is because when you send your mix off to mastering, the mastering engineer needs what we call headroom to allow for space and dynamics to push the song to a perceived loudness. And it also sets a good dynamic range for you to work in as a final mix. All right, number 3 is never using more than 4 to 6 dB of compression or EQ cutting and boosting. It basically means just don't overdo things. Try and keep it within that range. If you're doing any boosting on your EQs more than 6 dB, you might be doing too much. All right, number 4 is cut narrow and boost wide. Now what that means is whenever you're boosting a frequency, the curve on that should be quite wide. And then when you're cutting frequencies, the curve or the Q should be quite narrow. And this will give you a more natural sound whenever you're EQing and processing. As a second part to that, you're better off cutting rather than boosting. You shouldn't be boosting heaps of shelves or heaps of bell curves. You really want to cut because we don't perceive cuts as much as we perceive boost. So if you can remove unwanted sound, your mix is going to really come together in a more natural sounding way. All right, number 5 is to know the plugins you're using. A lot of people are using third-party plugins, be it Waves, UAD, Slate. There are all these great plugins available. What people forget is that every plugin has a sound, and every plugin sound is based on usually a piece of real vintage hardware. And if you don't know how that hardware works, you're gonna not understand how to use it correctly. You should think of each plugin as a tool, and each tool has a specific use. And each of these plugins has something that they're good at and that they use specifically for. So you really need to wrap your head around what that plugin does. If you get to that point where you understand the plugins as they would be used in the physical world, the software version will become much easier. Hope you enjoyed our first video on 5 ways to get a better mix. Please subscribe to our channel and comment down below and let us know what you think. Let us know what you might use to get in a better mix.